Let's transition and start talking about this offense, because this is a group that, as we have all come to realize, is firing on all cylinders. They rank first overall in total offense. They are first in rushing offense. They are eighth in passing offense, fourth in points per game, first and third down offense, fifth and fourth down offense, first in red zone offense. Yeah, they're rolling right now. And Todd Monken is saying and doing all the right things. Here he is talking about year one to year two progression earlier today up at one winning drive in Owings Mills.
Ahead. I mean, you have an off season to look back at what you did, what you thought was the answers or the way you want to go about it. And, we're doing things better. Our guys are playing at a high level. I think we're all doing it better. It's not just the players, Obviously, us having a system that they can wrap their arms around, build confidence in, that's detailed out, because the players make it come to life, but not if they don't understand, what we're trying to accomplish or how we do it every day on the field. It doesn't come to life on the field. And so that's up to us to streamline things and to continue to do it better each week. And then the challenge is you're playing someone really good who sees what you do well, and they're going to counter that. And then how do you continue to do it better and evolve?
Monken's got everybody talking, so much so you've got Troy Aikman, NFL Hall of Famer, somebody who's going to be in the Monday Night Football booth, of course, coming up in this Week 7 matchup between the Ravens and Bucks, calling the game with Joe Buck. But unprompted, he's singing the praises of the Ravens wide receivers. Stop me if you've heard this before. You can't stop me because you haven't heard it before. Listen to this. He's torching the Cowboys and their route running abilities, and then he goes and gives the Ravens some love completely out of left field.
Terrible. I think they run terrible routes, and I've thought that beyond this year. And I think CeeDee's got to improve in his route running. And as a quarterback, if you're not certain where guys are going to be consistently, it's hard to play the position. And so that's what I see. I see guys lazy coming off the line of scrimmage. Sometimes they run. Usually if they do, it's because they're anticipating they're going to get the football in that play. But if they're not, they don't, and it all ties together. And so I'm not impressed with that part of it. I just finished watching the Baltimore Ravens because I have them this week. You put on a film of theirs and watch their receivers run routes, and they come off the football. And so do San Francisco's and Green Bay's and others. But it's hard to play the position if you're not certain how guys are going to run routes or where they're going to be. And I'm not speaking for Dak. Dak may say, hey, I think everything's amazing. But as a former quarterback watching it, it's got to get a lot better.
Unprompted, he's giving the Ravens wide receivers love. Zay Flowers, Rashad Bateman, Nelson Aguilar. Not sure if he's referring to the tight ends, but in terms of route running ability, certainly Zay and Rashad have led the way. And the passing offense statistics back that up. You're telling me you got the number 1 ranked rushing offense to go along with the 8th ranked passing offense? Talk about blend and balance. I know some of you out there hate the cliche terms that go along with that, but that is literally the definition of symmetry. And Todd Monken's got this place this is a group that's getting contributions from all angles and has two closers. One who's been here for 7 seasons. The other who just got here is on the other side of 30 and is telling everybody that felt like his cliff was near to go F off. And that is the king. Lamar and his king. An unbelievable duo. Preparing for these two as Buccaneers passing game coordinator and former Steelers linebacker Larry Foote saying some pretty hilarious and even religious things during his press conference when asked about it earlier today.
The challenge of preparing for a quarterback and all that he can do, what makes Lamar Jackson unique that way?
First, you got to pray. You just got to pray. You got to hope and just wish. And, it's going to take a group effort. I mean, even the free safety, everybody's going to have to be responsible for him. At the end of the day, when he drops back and decides to run, it's going to be a challenge. And when he does get tackled, it's a shoestring tackle. So that's when the prayers are going to be needed. But we got a nice plan for him, but his athleticism, him being a quarterback, we at his mercy at times, and we just got to do a good job. Can't let him kill us.
Is there anything that makes him more effective than being able to have a Derrick Henry in the backfield where he can just, he's got you stretched both ways now?
And he's developed into a great passer. So, you understand why he didn't win multiple MVPs. When he is running the ball, he has running back vision. That's what makes it tough. He's slippery, and everybody knows how fast he is. But it's going to be a collective effort to try to slow him down.
Did y'all catch that? I know you caught that quote. If you didn't, here it is. First, you got to pray. You just got to pray. You got to hope and just wish. It's going to take a group effort. We can't let him kill us. I love every single week making part of my workflow, heading over to the opponent's website, or in this case, YouTube channel, and listening to their defensive staff, or in this case, their pass game coordinator, and listening to them try and put into words how to properly plan and strategize for Lamar Jackson. It brings me back to 2019 when I did the exact same thing every single week when I checked in on the opponents, because for the first time, these coordinators were trying to figure out how to keep Lamar at bay. It's 6 years later, 5+ years later, technically, if we're talking about the 2019 season, and there still isn't an answer. You just got to hope and pray. You guys understand how lucky you have it out there as Ravens fans? How lucky we have it in the content space? How lucky Baltimore has it in terms of revenue dollars and visibility? Lamar Jackson is still chasing that elusive Super Bowl trophy, that Lombardi that he wants, multiple of them. But he's doing things that have never been done at the quarterback position. And if they have been done, he's rewriting the ways in which they've been done and accomplished. It's absolutely exceptional. It's so entertaining on a weekly basis to check in with these guys. He even turned around one Colin Cowherd, who years ago, when he was coming out of Louisville, had a lot of doubts. But you know what I really respect about Colin? He's walked himself back time and time again, and he did exactly that this week.
The other thing, so for the last forever, I didn't know if Lamar Jackson, first year in the league, I didn't know if it was going to work. He ran around way too much. Now, he was good at it, but he ran around too much. And eventually you have to win from the pocket. But if the last 3 or 4 years, I've spent 3 or 4 years defending him. He's good from the pocket. I don't know what you guys are watching. In fact, this year, last 2 years, he's better this year than last year, his MVP year. The kid is just fantastic. And he does two things that the great quarterbacks almost all do. He wins about 75% of his games, and he always says the right thing. And he was asked about winning another MVP. Perfect. I said, Baker Mayfield is actually talented, but he kept starting fires, not putting them out. You're never going to hear Lamar Jackson calling out publicly Zay Flowers because he ran the wrong route, unlike a guy in New York.
You guys catch that? Aaron Rodgers catching strays after last weekend's performance, that Mike Williams route there towards the end of the game. Just want to make sure you caught that.
Being really good and being really humble, it's really important for a quarterback. Eli Manning in New York would not talk after wins. Always made himself available to the New York press after losses. Smart guy. And what's great about Lamar, he's only 27 years old, which is crazy. It feels like he's been in the league forever. And with all these God-given gifts, he could be a little peacocky. He is one of one. There's nobody like him in the league, and there's been nobody like him, maybe Michael Vick a little, ever. And he could have an ego. And he doesn't have to be humble. I mean, go to Twitter, 3 minutes, look around. I mean, that guys struggle being humble. This kid has God-given gifts, and it's all about team. It's all about us. It's all about we. I didn't know if it was going to work. I'm the first to admit. My first year, I'm like, I don't know. I don't know if this is going to work. But I feel like I spent the last 4 years. He's literally everything I want. Athletic, good from the pocket, humble, hardworking, mostly available, total team guy, incredible work ethic, locker room loves him. He feels like, not all quarterbacks feel like this. He feels like the soul of arguably the second best run franchise in the league outside of Kansas City. And I say that simply because Kansas City keeps winning the final game of the season. He is the soul of that franchise. To me, completely impossible not to root for Lamar Jackson.
Colin Cowherd, he's got a way with words, and I think most notably, he has done a complete 180, right? A complete 180. He's held himself accountable. He even mentioned it there, that he was not in on Lamar Jackson initially. And for him to now have come around, right? This whole thing has now come full circle, and he truly understands what we all know because we get to watch him on a weekly basis, and we have for 6+ seasons. There are so many things that will never, ever show up on a stat sheet that Lamar has that Lamar does that has a direct impact on the game. The ultimate outcome of the game, the way a quarter finishes, the way a half closes, right? The way a play is manipulated. The way somebody has to chase him around after an extension of a play that goes awry and ends up getting tired. You can't measure that fatigue, the way he wears down a defense. And that's the type of stuff that makes him truly one of one, epitomized one of one. And taking a look at an area that the Ravens could be at an advantage coming up on Monday night against the blitz-heavy Tampa Bay defense. As PFF BAL Ravens takes a look at here, Lamar has the 4th most passing yards with 608 against the blitz this season. He'll be facing a Bucs defense that ranks 3rd in blitz rate, so Jackson should have opportunities to make plays through the air. And my oh my, did he do that last week as well? I want to say he was 11 for 12 for 162 yards against the blitz. He's so comfortable under pressure. And he talked about it this week. Not necessarily under pressure, but at the line of scrimmage. Everything is just going at his own pace. He's seen it all. Maybe not all, but he's seen so much. And you can tell that he has all of that within his memory bank. And he uses it when he needs to.
I just think my everything is like slowing down even more just from the years I've been in the league, and seeing all type of defenses, seeing all type of blitzes. Everything is just second nature right now. So I'm just trying to be a better player myself, each and every year. So I just say everything's just slowing down. That's what's helping it.
Everything is slowing down for Lamar Jackson. Look out, NFL. This guy, just when you think he's honed in on his game and added more layers, and that's got to be it, he continues to do so. And in year 2 in this pro-style offense with Todd Monken and the freedom, the liberties that he has at the line of scrimmage, the checks that he's been making. I thought Logan Paulson did a great job earlier this week, the former Commanders tight end who had a field level view access of Lamar during Sunday's game against Washington. The calls in which he was making, the checks, the studying that he had Washington dead to rights. And that side, that cognitive side of Lamar Jackson's game, his offensive mind, is not talked about enough at all. And Todd Monken has allowed that part of his game to flourish. Whereas in the Greg Roman offense, and it's not to knock Giro, those two accomplished a lot of things, but he was being held back. And he wasn't truly able to showcase what we certainly now know, and the whole NFL world knows, that Lamar Jackson possesses the ability to beat you in ways like the Peyton Mannings and the Tom Brady's did all over the years, using up here